Hi, welcome to Real Times. This is our vlog where we talk about industry trends, new products, and everything coax. My name is Carrie Obedzinski. I'm the distribution sales manager here at timesmicrowavesystems, and today we have Julianne Benson with us all the way from Arizona to our Connecticut heat and humidity. Julianne is one of our product engineers, and she works on a specific product line, our SAO2 line. And in this episode, we're going to talk about women in the industry. So welcome.
Thank you. Thank you for having me. I'm excited.
So how long have you been with Times?
So just over 2 years. So June was my 2-year mark. So feels like a lot longer than that, but not that long yet. So.
And a lot's happened in those 2 years.
Yes.
So,
yeah.
We keep growing and expanding. And at our Mesa facility, you run the entire product line for SAO2, right?
Yeah, so I kind of have a unique position where I do, like you're saying, so I start from the manufacturing side of things and help with process engineering, manufacturing, and then I also work with the sales team as well as do the applications engineering side. So it's kind of the full gamut of everything SIO2 related.
How did you get into engineering, or what made you want to be an engineer?
So for me, it really had to do with the challenge and doing something that is constantly going to drive me on a day-to-day to do something new. I get bored kind of easily, so I had some alternate paths that I thought about pursuing, but really wanted something that was going to push me every day. So I liked to tinker a lot when I was younger. I didn't really ever work on cars or anything that was like very specific to engineering. My uncle is an engineer at Boeing, so I had some exposure when I was younger. But I don't think I really made the decision until high school when I really started to look into college. And for me, it was just kind of something that became a natural path. So I don't know. I love it. I like the nerdy engineering, really in-depth technical stuff. And like I said, it really comes down to the challenge and everything from a day-to-day perspective. So,
well, with that, I feel like, especially here at Amphenol, there's a lot of diversity in both our engineers and our sales teams and management. What has your experience been as far as, your career path here at Amphenol?
For me, like one thing I will say is I'm very fortunate in the sense that I've been given a lot of opportunity. Again, I've only been here 2 years, and I've really had that chance to take on a lot of responsibility if I wanted it. So for me, I've had respect right out the gate, which was something I really appreciated. So that's definitely played to my advantage as well. Absolutely. Because you kind of have to learn to navigate the waters and personality types of everyone you're working with in general, whether you're a female or a male. But yeah, being a woman, it's one of those things where you kind of have to be a little bit more aware of your situation sometimes so that you don't necessarily, it's not a misstep, but you want to come off the right way and gain the respect right out the gate. So, and I know that nobody really does it purposefully. I'm sure you've kind of had that experience as well. It's just one of those things, sometimes it's not thought of right out the gate. So, but yeah, no, it's definitely been a challenge, just part of it, I think. But again, like you said, we've come a long way, and I still think there's really a long way to go. So,
to that note, what else do you think we can do as a corporation to, better support diversity in our business?
I think it really comes down to just recruiting in general, opening up who we're looking for, and to Amphenol and to Times is, defense in the sense, it's really who wants to work in the manufacturing type of an industry. So I think that there needs to be a little bit more focus, because if you take a step back and look at it, I really think it comes down to some women still feel that it's not quite the industry they want to be in, even if they've pursued an engineering degree. It's a bit more fast-paced, a little bit more aggressive. You have to be fairly assertive in the industry. So just reaffirming that it doesn't really matter what your gender is at that point. It's really your personality traits, your skill set, and everything else that helps you succeed. So I don't know exactly what that looks like, but I think in general that's really what it is, just kind of broadening people's perspective and realizing, this is something that could be a really good opportunity for me. So
I think you answered that very well, broadening the perspective. And I think, educating at a very, young age, whether it's in high school or a trade school, that there are opportunities beyond, sitting behind a computer and being an engineer. And there's other companies out there than the ones that, the top 5 that you always hear. Because I always get that who's Amphenol? What does Amphenol do, right? So
Yeah.
I think it's, getting our name out there, continuing to have, females help recruit.
Yes.
And, engage in, different activities, whether, I myself have gone to trade schools and, done presentations, to kind of, it's an education, right?
Yeah.
And it's an all-around education
Yes.
because I think the more everyone's aware, the better groundwork for those to come.
Agreed. So I think, and that gives somebody to kind of, mentor as well throughout the process. I think that that's important because everyone learns as they go, right? And each generation kind of has a different learning curve and a different environment that they're working in an industry, and they all have pros and cons. So it's always good to kind of share those experiences and the lessons learned. So it's exciting to hear. I knew that you went out and were kind of a face, but that's cool that you've been at some different shows and stuff. I'd love to go and kind of be out recruiting as well if that ever comes up. But I think that that's important because then it gives, again, a new perspective. Oh, this is something that I can do. There's already women in this industry and they're already being successful and standing their own. So
it's that exposure. And then, like you mentioned, that champion and or mentor to help you be successful wherever you are. And I think Amphenol also does a good job of that.
Agreed.
So I want to thank you. I thought this was a great conversation. Thank you for watching. If you liked our vlog, please like it and share it. And until next time, please be safe and thank you for watching.